You think you have no discipline, but maybe you're just stuck in a dopamine trap. I didn't realize it back then, but I was drifting. Not because I was lazy, but because I felt lost. I bet you know the feeling, the silence in your head while you scroll and the deafening noise when you're alone, trying to figure out how to make it. It's a paradox because on the outside it's loud while you consume and quiet when you reflect, but inside it's the opposite. Consuming is easy and thinking is hard. And that's exactly what makes it so hard to focus, to move forward, to tap into your potential. But the only way out is through the discomfort, through the storm in your head. And you have to sit with it until the noise fades and clarity returns, because a ship without direction will drift. Most people will skip this, but those who don't usually aren't most people. Your brain will crave the next hit, but if you resist, just once, you might finally hear what you've been avoiding. You know, it wasn't always like that. I studied engineering at one of the top universities, and I used to be insanely focused and driven. Back then I had big goals and I was chasing them every single day. But over time, I lost that fire. Not because I didn't care, but because I felt alone, disconnected from purpose and disconnected from people. The longer I stayed in the wrong environment without meaningful social connection, the more I fell into quick fix habit just to feel something. And without realizing it, a dopamine addiction creeped in. The truth is, I didn't always struggle with this. In fact, I used to get so much done. Deep work, focus, flow, all concepts I read about and worked hard to implement it. But university slowly isolated me, and after graduation, working a job I didn't care about in a place where I didn't feel I belong, that's when things started to break. No real community, no people that gave me energy, no purpose. Just an endless loop of input, noise, distraction. It felt meaningless and as a waste of my potential. And so, like most people, without realizing it in those moments, I turned to the easiest escape, my phone. Quick hits of dopamine until I couldn't think clearly anymore, until even 10 minutes of focus felt hard. That's what Napoleon Hill called drifting. Living without intention, letting life happen to you, always busy but never moving. You drift into jobs you don't care about, relationships that aren't right, habits that numb you instead of helping you grow. You know, you don't choose anymore, you just float. And I realized I was drifting. Not because I had no potential, but because I didn't have the right people. And suddenly, without realizing, drifting becomes your reality. It becomes your identity. Mark this information because it will become relevant at the end section with the action steps and how to overcome that. The turning point for me was silence. But not the silence you get from numbing your thoughts with scrolling and fast food dopamine. I mean real silence. I took 5 days away from my phone. Not just from social media, from my phone. I journaled, I walked, I just sat, sometimes for hours, and slowly the noise faded. My thoughts got quieter, clearer. I started seeing me again, the me before the fog, before the scrolling. I found my energy in the people at my gym, in real conversations, real presence. I built a community that lifted me and that reminded me who I actually am. The real mindset shift, though, it wasn't some new morning routine or some fancy productivity hack. It was this. I changed how I saw myself. I changed my identity by willpower and immediately. Because if you identify as someone who's addicted to dopamine, you'll act like it. You'll give in. You'll justify. You'll say, it's just who I am. But identity is a choice. If you say, I'm someone who protects my focus. If you say, I'm not a slave to my phone, that belief becomes a wall, a powerful one. And every time you reach for distraction, you hit that wall and ask, is this really who I want to be? Because when your actions betray your identity, it creates an inner conflict. And that conflict keeps you accountable. This isn't about discipline. It's about becoming someone new. And that starts with what you believe about yourself. Start acting like that version of yourself today. Not perfectly, not all at once, but one step every day. Because that's how you prove to yourself that this identity is real. And motivation will follow your actions. Start walking and the fire will follow. You know, there's something no one tells you about focus. When you sit down, shut the world out and push through. Not for a minute, but for hours. And then you finally break through. You feel something most people have forgotten even exists. That moment of real progress. Earned, not scrolled into. It hits different. It's not loud and it's not fast, but it's deep, real and lasting. You walk away from that kind of work changed, because you didn't just move a project forward, you proved something to yourself, that you're capable, that you are in control, that you're someone who finishes. And that kind of dopamine doesn't vanish in 15 seconds. It rewires how you see yourself. If you feel stuck, the first thing you need to do is understand why. Is it the lack of real people around you? Are you stuck in a job that drains you instead of inspiring you? Are you filling the void with dopamine instead of meaning? Here's what helped me. Number 1, build meaningful connection. Figure out what matters to you and go find those people. Apply for jobs with shared values, join clubs or communities. For me, the gym became my tribe. Number 2, journal relentlessly. Ask yourself deep questions. What gives me energy? What drains me? What do I want from life? You won't have the answers in a day, and that's the point. Keep asking. Number 3, prioritize sleep. Chronic sleep deprivation feels like depression. It steals your energy, your joy, your will. Protect your sleep like your life depends on it, because it really does. Number 4, reduce noise. Even one phone-free hour a day can change your brain. Replace cheap dopamine with real presence. Number 5, change your identity. First, you need to make yourself clear that you are suffering from dopamine addiction. And then you need an identity shift. From a person that constantly needs fast food dopamine to a person that is not addicted to that. Say it out loud. Say it to yourself. Then hold that promise to yourself. Hold yourself accountable. When things get hard, don't reach for your phone. When you go to the toilet, don't reach for your phone. Instead, implement the rule to never go with your phone in the bathroom and instead, for example, place a book you want to read in there. Change your identity. I track my habits, the new and good ones I want to implement as well as the bad ones I want to break in my journal, and that way I hold myself accountable because I don't want to miss a cross in that journal. You know, this isn't just a mindset, it's a way of life, one that brings your clarity back, your fire back, you back. And if you want accountability, feel free to comment below what step you're going to take today. Not next week, not when life feels easier. Today. And if you're ready to stop drifting and start designing your life, subscribe, because this journey is just beginning. And as always, have a great one. Ciao.
I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up just so they could see me. Did what I had to do just to feed me, and what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan, your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be f***ing sour, take a cold shower. Scream until you're louder, work until you're prouder. And f*** all the doubters, they're just your downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown.